A wonderfully warm hello to all of you for a new lovely Yuriki. And we're asking the question, will he get in touch with you again? No matter how long you haven't had contact, whether it's been weeks, months, or maybe even years, there's still something that keeps occupying your mind. The question, will he reach out to you again? Maybe you've written to him a few more times, but haven't gotten any response from him. You want to know, will there be something again? Will he or she get in touch with you again? We are tapping into the most present energy, the energy of the now, and connecting with the question of whether he will reach out to you again. And as always, remember, in the collective, person cards are gender neutral, and a collective reading may not resonate with everyone. And I know you'll take exactly what resonates with you from this collective reading and leave everything else aside. And a very warm, wonderful hello to all of you, a heartfelt hug to you, and once again, a charming thank you for your kindness, your wonderful, lovely comments, and your appreciation for me and my work. I am endlessly grateful to you. Thank you for your loyalty. You are wonderful. And now I'm sending you lots and lots and lots of love, many beautiful moments, and plenty of happy feelings. And to anyone who isn't feeling so well, I wish you all the very best. Love for recovery, for healing, and lots of happy feelings. So now I'd say, let's go. Let's see what's going on. Okay. So let's take a look then. Will your special someone, your sweetheart, your desired partner, will he or she get in touch with you again? Great. We have the mountain. Yes, there were difficulties. He or she had difficulties, problem. Maybe there really were problems between the two of you in your connection with each other. From the outside, there was always something coming up. We are definitely dealing with blockages here. And something or someone is also holding us back. There's a bit of a delay. It's about overcoming resistance. So there's something here. I'm curious to see what else we'll find. What is the resistance here? What exactly is the resistance? So somehow he keeps hesitating about it. But he's also carrying a lot with him. So it's also like this. We have the mice. We have this, there's some sorrow, something is still here. There's also an issue that involves sorrow, but something is also being taken away here. So I'd say these difficulties, this problem, this blockage, we are actually experiencing this blockage here. That it really is being reduced here, that something is also being taken away. So you can already see movement here, even if it might be a bit slow. A delay, yes, but because from the feeling of it, something is tormenting him, something is weighing on him, occupying his mind. And now I have to smile a bit because we already have the letter, okay? So as you can see for yourselves, this is definitely about communication. It's about messages, and that's what it's connected to. Something or someone, as I said, something is being blocked here. He is blocking himself, and there is some kind of resistance. The resistance he still has here, of course, will be resolved. You know, we really go deep here. It's really weighing on him. It's also a kind of tormenting feeling. But in the end, he also knows or feels deep inside that something needs to be done here. Blockage. Need for action, yes. Let's see, we'll take another look and really dive deep to see what else we can find here. What else I want to show and present to you here in this particular demonstration, as there are many interesting aspects and features that I believe are worth highlighting and explaining in more detail. All right. Yes, indeed. The tree. For him, it's really all about stability here. There's also something here that's on his mind, something going on inside him, something that concerns the strengthening of your bond, your connection. There's also an issue from the past with him, yes. And As I said, there's something here I'm really focusing on the bond now, just between the two of you. But you can also see growth because something is developing as well. And yet, despite everything, there's still something in the area where he always has some kind of bond or connection to the past. So something is still not quite right here, either with him or with her. And let's take a look. As I said, I already find this very, very exciting. I'm really curious myself, just like I am with every single personal reading. And some of you have probably already noticed that I always get really invested in the readings myself. And as I said, we have the blockage, kind of inhibition. There's something here that's blocking him, as I mentioned. So either there was a discussion or an argument between the two of you, some kind of confrontation. But as I said, something is still holding him back here. It's about a conflict. Something here has to do with a confrontation. Maybe it's a confrontation with himself. Let's take a closer look and observe. And then I am quite curious to see what specific insights I can provide to you regarding the overall timing tendency and its characteristics here. All right, let's take a look. Yes, so his insecurity is definitely a big factor here. No, actually, that wasn't because of the insecurity, but because I just saw you here now, especially in the position I see you lying here now. I mean, the way you're lying here in front of me, that's what I mean by that. I have to smile already because this reading is once again absolutely fantastic. I mean, in a way, he's just adorable, isn't he? Because no matter what he told you, no matter how long ago it was, it really doesn't matter at all. I'm telling you, you occupy his thoughts much more than you realize or than you might think. Even if you have no contact, you might think, okay, there's no contact. Has he forgotten about me or something? No, definitely not you. Not at all. For him, it's like this. The threshold for contact, he already has the idea of contacting you in his mind, in his thoughts. There is just a blockage. And yes, the blockage is that you might confront him with something here. On the one hand, as you know, I'm talking collectively, so I always have to take a broader view of everything because we're dealing with the collective. And in this case, it's about what is blocking him. And those are, well, I don't really want to say it, but those are fears that he has. So it's more like this threshold of inhibition for me as well. Because it's kind of like he's playing a bit of hide and seek. Like, I'll just hide because I'm a little scared that something might be said here. So maybe you found something out, you confront him. Those are some of the thoughts going on. And really, it's that he doesn't actually know what he should do. If you confront him with something, as I said, because we don't exactly have an innocent little lamb here, and that's how it is. I sense dishonesty. Maybe he didn't tell you something, either afterwards or in between, or during the time you were connected. And that's what's really weighing on him, because basically the attraction from him to you is so strong and his thoughts are so focused on you because he just has to. I had to smile really has the message on his mind. The way I see it here, it's like he literally has his phone in his hand thinking, should I write? He's already scrolling through as well. Above all, he's also watching you. Yes. We really have an observer here. So whether you're blocked right now or whether it's on the internet or something else, even in public, please, we're talking collectively here. So please adapt this to your own situation. I just happen to have the internet and the phone here as examples. That's why I use them. These are all just examples. But I really see him like this, actually picking up the phone, the cell phone, and then looking. For example, are you online? Or what have you posted online? Something like that. Or he's looking at photos, because I keep seeing these images as well. Maybe he's looking at photos, something like that. It could also be that he's searching for you somewhere on social media. Even if you've blocked him or something like that, he's sneaking his way through somehow. because something wants to come out, because he's endlessly curious. Then it could also happen that you suddenly get a like or a heart or something like that from him. If it's on social media, if we take social media out of the equation, then we have the public, meaning that he really checks there as well. For example, just as an example, if you always go to the same bakery or always shop at the same place, he might check there too to see if you're around. Something like that, because he wants to see you and he knows how to go about it. And now we come to the next point. This is also something that concerns some people, because no matter how things ended between you two, I mean, it wasn't exactly the most gentlemanly way that things were handled, at least for some people. And it's like this. If you had contact, maybe it was that you wrote a lot and he didn't reply at all. He just suddenly, maybe even sneakily, disappeared and stopped replying. Or he wrote you something blunt, kind of hit you with a cheap shot. And for him, it's like this. He does feel sorry about it. But when it comes to apologizing, that's not really his thing. He tries more to sneak his way out of it, not just through one back door, but through 10, distracting with all sorts of other things so that the issue doesn't get brought up again, or something like that. And as I said, with some of you, I also see that when you do have contact with him, this is just a little heads up for you. It's about your situation. You know it best for yourself. Please keep that in mind. So if this doesn't apply to you, that's totally fine. There's also the point that maybe you're always expressing sadness to him, like, I miss you, or I'm so sad, and we're really deep in that energy. And he just can't handle that. So what I'm saying is, it could also have been an issue that, for example, when you were sad or had difficulties, or when you were sad, maybe he just wasn't able to respond to you with much empathy. Maybe he just tried to distract from it a little, or brushed it off with a, yeah, it'll be fine, or maybe even tried to lighten the mood with something funny, while you were actually thinking, well, it would have been really nice if you could just give me a real hug right now and say something supportive. You know, that empathy, that sensitivity, because in that regard, he was a bit tactless. There's a bit of an emotional block there from that direction, and just this lack of tact. And then he just can't handle it. It really weighs on him. It's not that he's cold or that he just doesn't care at all. No, it's just that he can't deal with it. So I'd say it definitely has something to do with his past. But I can't see exactly what it is in this reading. And as you know, I always say everything the cards show in each individual reading. But here, that's why I can't say anything more about it. But it's definitely an issue because I keep seeing him so blocked here. This I can't. It's as if he has a mental barrier and just can't get out because he's blocked. You definitely occupy his thoughts and he's thinking about it here. So it's like, okay, now I'll write, now I'll do this. Or I'll just show up at the workplace for once in front of the store or something like that. And then it's like, I'm going to do it. And then before he even puts on his shoes or before he actually sends the message on his phone, it's like, oh no. And then he gets insecure. He takes off his shoes again, puts the phone away, deletes everything, and goes back to watching television. But still, I sense his restlessness. He keeps lying there because he wants to. And it just won't leave him alone. So even if he says, okay, that's it, I won't text him, I'll just keep watching television or do something else to distract myself. It doesn't work because I always have him lying here all fidgety. So it just doesn't let you rest because somehow it's like his fingers keep twitching, wanting to text you or call you because he misses you too. And that's his blockage, this inhibition that he keeps having. He just can't really deal with it. So really, these are hurdles for him. They're his own blockages, his own problems, his own insecurity. And as I said, this inhibition, which keeps coming up again and again, because sometimes it's also the case that she can't really argue anymore. It could also be that he snapped at you about something, but that was just a knee-jerk reaction. But in any case, I see communication between the two of you again. Between both of you, I even see a visit at home, and I also see a change there. And these are his blockages. But after this reading, I really see that the vast majority of it is really already resolved here. And he has also processed and worked through it for himself. But people do tend to push things away a bit, and he really does have some serious issues because he knows that he broke off contact with her, or that he blocked her, or didn't get in touch. No matter what it was about, he knows that what he did was wrong. He knows it. He just, as I said, has a bit of a barrier when it comes to apologizing. But these thoughts keep coming back to him. They just won't let him go. Thoughts of you again and again. What are you doing? What are you up to? How are you? Have you maybe already met someone else? He knows he hurt you. He knows he disappointed you. He knows that. That's something I see on his level of awareness. And you are absolutely the central focus for him. And also the contact with you. He feels kind of guilty about it. He knows you gave him everything. You gave him everything possible. You were the star. But for him, it's like he just can't handle it. Even when you always wanted so much to be understanding and wrote a lot. And because it came from your heart, it's your warmth, he just needs a bit more time to deal with it. He just needs a little time. And as I said, this is also about collective guidance. So for yourself, you might say, okay, I'll dial it back a little, not be quite so understanding anymore. Maybe just a bit, or react depending on how he approaches you. Of course, only depending on the situation. But that's just what this reading suggests. That means you also say, okay, you don't text as much anymore. You're a bit more reserved and distant, but not completely. It's like I always compare it to this. I like to say it's a bit like clutch and gas. When you do text, show him that you're doing well. And I'm not well, or I'm so sad and I've been waiting for your message for so long. I wouldn't recommend writing something like that here after this reading. But simply when he writes to you, no matter how he contacts you, gets in touch with you again, that you really do, but nothing more. Because that's when I really get moving, because I have curiosity in this line. There's a real curiosity here, because he's the one who wants to know what's going on. Because he's already come here a bit and looked around and said, what are you doing? I can get something out of this here, but somehow he can't really get anything out. That's not enough for him, or he doesn't notice anything at all. Yeah. And then we've got a mess on our hands. So, as I said, you should react a bit differently here at first, maybe even at the beginning when he gets in touch again. And you should also try to move a bit into the friend zone here. If he asks you, hey, how are you? That could be the first question. Yeah, I'm doing great. How are you doing? Nothing more. So don't go into, I experienced this and I experienced that, and then this happened. Just keep things a bit calmer overall. That's how I see it here, because this calmness, your slightly reserved attitude, not writing too much, like I said, that left him completely thoughtful. And he really doesn't know anymore what's going on there. Like I said, curiosity, I've really got that here. What's going on there? Is there maybe someone else? Because that's when his mind really starts spinning like crazy for him. And that's when he really gets active, because he wants to know and he wants that connection with you, because you truly are in his heart. I'm telling you that for sure. Nothing has ended here. You are in his heart. And I definitely see the message between the two of you again. So it's also very clear to me here. And if I look at the timing now, the time. If I take the tendency again, if we look at the timing when he or she will reach out to you again. So now we're at about, I'd say, well, there's still a bit of a delay. So I'd say 2 days. Well, let's see. But I'd say about 2 weeks, 2 months. But as I said, you always, always, always control the timing yourselves. So I'd say the longest part is probably already over. So we're really not in that range anymore, just a bit of a delay, which is why I'm not necessarily saying it's exactly 3 days. Now it could be weeks, months, yeah. But it could also, since I have a tiny bit of a delay, it could still be 3 months. So as I said, you have complete control over the timing. What else do we have? We have the fish and the snake. Okay, a great connection. Here we have activity again, the fish. And there's already really wants to spend a lot of time with you. By the way, and there's a connection, also a soul connection between the two of you. Movement is shown here. There's really a lot of movement shown here. And he will set something in motion here. So as I said, we'll see each other again in this area if you react a little differently. if you're not as easy to grasp as you used to be, and for example, he says to you, let's meet at 2 p.m., and then you say 4 p.m., something like that, or maybe 3 p.m., depending, just a little bit, because that's when he really definitely starts moving. That's when everything gets going. And he'll set all sorts of things in motion. And it's like inside, it touches him completely because you've still touched him. You're still there. Definitely. So what else do we have now? So it's not like I'm saying you're not active in his inner world at all anymore or anything like that. It's his own entanglements, which could have to do with other people, other women. It's always been a complicated path for him. But he's facing it, embracing renewal, and willing to walk this complicated path. And it's also like this, he really wants this as if you have contact and you are completely together again, connected. And then he's willing to walk this complicated path no matter what obstacles come up. He wants this contact with you. He wants to intensify everything because I can already see everything here in the process of healing. The solution is really already here, ready. So I have everything here within reach. My dears, I thank you from the bottom of my heart for watching, and I wish you a wonderfully beautiful rest of your day. Goodbye.